Welcome back to Portuguese Path. CIPLE A2 and Beyond, powered by Prep2Go.study.
It's good to be back.
Today feels a little different. Usually we're deep in the trenches, right? We're fighting with irregular verbs or panicking about the difference between sir and a star.
Or trying to write a postcard without sounding like a robot.
Exactly. But today feels like that moment right after the storm.
The calm after the storm. Or maybe the what on earth just happened to me phase.
Yes. That one, you can just picture it. Our listener has just walked out of that exam room. Their hand is cramping. Their brain feels like mush. And the first thought is, I think I survived, but what happens now?
It's a very specific kind of exhaustion. You spend months building up to this one morning, and then it's just over.
And the anxiety doesn't actually stop. It changes shape. It goes from, will I understand the audio, to, oh my gosh, did I even pass?
And where is the piece of paper that proves it?
Exactly, the golden ticket.
Well, that's what we're here for. Think of this as your roadmap for the aftermath. We're not talking about grammar today. We're talking about timelines, results, and what that certificate actually unlocks.
Because nobody takes the CIPLE A2 for fun. There's always a goal, usually a passport-shaped one.
Precisely. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with the big one. The question that's burning in everyone's mind. How long? How long do I have to sit there just hitting refresh on my email before I know?
Okay, so first step. Stop hitting refresh. It's just not going to happen that fast. If you look at the procedures from KPLA, they're the ones who run the exams. You're looking at a window of about 2 weeks to a month and a half.
A month and a half. That's an eternity when your future is hanging in the balance.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
And it really depends on when you took the exam.
What do you mean?
Well, the big international seasons, May, July, November, those are peak times. You have thousands of people taking the exam all at once.
So it's just a bigger pile of papers to grade.
Exactly. And the written parts need human eyes. So if you sit in May, you're probably not getting results in early June. It's not realistic.
So manage your expectations.
Manage your expectations. And here's a really important practical tip. Keep your candidate code safe.
That's that little slip of paper they give you on the day, right?
Yes. So many people just lose it. Don't do that. You don't get a nice email saying congratulations. You have to proactively log in to the CPL platform to check your own scores.
And without that code.
You're locked out, and trying to recover it is a bureaucratic nightmare you do not want.
Okay, so take a picture of the code, tattoo it on my arm. Got it.
Whatever works.
So let's say I've waited my 6 weeks, I have my code, I log in, and I see a bunch of numbers. This is where we need to talk about the math, because there's a bit of a trap here, isn't there?
A massive trapdoor. This is where people get really heartbroken sometimes. To pass, you need a classification of suficiente.
Sufficient?
Right. And that means a total score between 55 and 69%.
Okay, 55%. That sounds achievable. It's not an A+, but it's a pass.
A pass is a pass. But the final grade is a weighted average. The reading and writing section is the big one. It's worth 45% of your total score.
Okay.
Then listening is 30%, and speaking is 25%.
So hypothetically, if I'm a good writer and reader, I could ace that section and bank almost half my points right there.
You could.
I could get a perfect score that's 45 points. I'm almost at 55 already. I could basically fall asleep during the listening part and still pass.
You would think so. But this is the trap. There is a critical rule. You must score at least 25% in each individual component.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you can't just bomb the listening section.
Not at all, even if my average is high enough.
No, even if you got 100% on reading and 100% on speaking, if you get, say, 10% on listening because you panicked, you fail the entire exam.
That is terrifying. It's an automatic disqualification.
It's an immediate fail. It makes sense, though. They want to know you have balanced skills. You can't just be great at reading textbooks. You have to be able to understand someone speaking to you.
Right. You can't just min-max your language skills like a video game character.
Exactly. Being just okay at everything is much better than being perfect at one thing and terrible at another.
Okay, so let's say I dodged that trapdoor. I got my 25% across the board. My total is 56%. A squeaker, but I passed. I see sufficiente on the screen. I pop the champagne. Now what?
Well, you can pop the champagne, definitely, but don't rush out to get a frame just yet.
Of course not. There's another waiting period.
There's another waiting period. Once the results are online, it's usually another month, maybe a bit more, for the physical certificate to be produced.
And it comes in the mail.
No. It doesn't come to your house.
Wait, what? It doesn't come to my mailbox.
No, typically the certificates are sent to the LAPE,
The LAPE.
the exam center, the actual place where you sat for the test.
Oh, I see a huge problem with that. A lot of people travel for this exam. They go to the Algarve or even to Spain because the slots in Lisbon fill up so fast.
It's a very common strategy, and yes, it creates this exact problem. If you live in Porto, but you took the exam in Vigo, Spain, your certificate is now waiting for you in Vigo.
So I have to drive all the way back to Spain just to pick up a piece of paper.
You might have to, but here's the key takeaway. Contact the center as soon as you see that you've passed.
Okay.
Most of them are reasonable. You can usually arrange for them to mail it to you, though you'll probably have to pay for a courier.
That's manageable, but you have to be proactive. You can't just wait for it to show up.
Extremely proactive, because for your residency or citizenship application, you need that physical document. You can't just show them a screenshot on your phone.
The screenshot is for Instagram. The paper is for the government.
Precisely.
Okay, so speaking of the government, once I have this precious piece of paper in my hands, does it expire? Do I have to rush to apply for citizenship before my A2 status runs out?
This is one of those questions that brings a lot of relief to people.
Okay, I'm ready to be relieved.
For the purpose of Portuguese nationality and permanent residency, the CIPLE A2 certificate does not expire.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's valid for life for immigration. Once you've proven that level of integration, that box is considered checked. Forever.
It's a one-and-done situation.
It is. This certificate is the key to two major doors. First, permanent residency after you've had 5 years of temporary residency.
Right.
And second, citizenship, nationality by naturalization.
And who am I showing this to? I always get confused by the alphabet soup of agencies.
Well, for residency, you're dealing with AY, the Agency for Integration, Migration, and Asylum.
IMA, got it.
But for the big prize, the passport, you're dealing with the IRN, the Institute of Registries and Notaries. They're the ones who grant nationality.
The keepers of the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly. And when you submit your application to them, that CIPLE certificate removes a huge subjective variable. It's objective proof.
You mean I don't have to prove my ties to the community by joining a folklore dance group?
Well, it used to be a lot more vague like that. But the language requirement makes it binary. Do you have the certificate? Yes or no. If it's yes, the requirement is met.
I love a binary requirement. It gives you a feeling of control in a process that feels very out of your control.
It really does.
You know, thinking about all of this, the studying, the exam, the waiting, it puts it all in perspective.
How so?
Well, when I first started, the whole thing felt impossible. Passing felt amazing, but I was so confused about the next steps. I felt like I was just walking off a cliff.
Yeah, the uncertainty is stressful.
It really is.
Yeah.
And having everything explained clearly made the process much less stressful.
It just reminds me, it's not just about the vocabulary lists and grammar, it's about knowing the whole strategy.
That's a great point. Preparation is holistic. You're not just preparing for a test, you're preparing for a bureaucracy. Understanding the timelines and the rules of the game. That's part of it. And if you know the rules, you're less likely to panic. And panic is what makes you fail that listening section.
Speaking of failing, we should probably talk about that.
The dreaded insuficiente.
Yes. What happens if you log in and see that you didn't pass, or you fell into that trapdoor we talked about?
I imagine the first step is to cry a little bit.
A brief moment of despair is perfectly acceptable, but then you get back to work. The good news is there is no limit on retakes.
Really? I can just take it again.
As many times as you want, as long as you pay the fee each time. It's not a 3 strikes you're out deal.
That is really reassuring.
Yeah.
But I also remember seeing something about an alternative path for people who just have terrible test anxiety.
There is. It's called the PLA course, Portuguese Língua de Acolhimento.
The Welcome Language course.
Exactly. Instead of one high-pressure exam, it's a continuous assessment course. It's much longer, though.
How much longer?
Usually about 150 hours of class time.
150 hours. Wow. That's a huge commitment.
It is, and attendance is mandatory. But if you complete it, you get a certificate that's legally equivalent to the CIPLE. So it's a trade-off. Time versus pressure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
For most busy people, the exam is probably still the most direct route.
It is. It remains the standard.
You know, when we talk about this certificate, it's easy to think of it as just paperwork. But it feels like it's something more.
It absolutely is. From the government's perspective, this certificate is proof of belonging. You're sending a signal that says, I've made the effort, I can understand my neighbors, I am part of this community now.
It's not a barrier, it's a bridge.
That's a great way to put it. And legally, it removes that subjective hurdle. Background checks, financial checks, those can be interpreted. The language requirement is a clear box. Once you check it, it is done forever.
Done forever. That's a beautiful phrase for anyone dealing with immigration.
It really is.
Well, I think that covers the whole administrative roadmap, from the exam room to the passport application.
It's a process, but it's a navigable one.
Passing the exam is just one step, but it's a big one. Congratulations and keep moving forward.
Dow.